So, I want a lot of things. I want to be honest about the reality of my experience. I want to embrace the fullness of the Catholic Church teaching on the human person, and I want to live fully alive. Some people might think that this combination is somehow mutually exclusive. Like, if I want to embrace the reality of my experience and live fully alive, then I need to reject Christian sexual teaching. Or if I want to embrace church teaching and I want to live fully alive, then the experience of my attractions need to just completely disappear. It's the only way I'm going to be fulfilled. Or if I'm embracing church teaching and I'm being honest about the reality of my experience, then my life is totally going to suck. Quite frankly, here at Eden Invitation, we think that's bull. Shiza. Over the past month, we've been looking at what it means to live unashamed and to live in the freedom of God's children and embrace our identity in Christ. This week, we're going to be looking at what living unashamed means for our public life. I know someone who's a pretty private guy, and he doesn't readily share his internal life with other people, especially with strangers, but had a pretty difficult situation in his family a few years back. And so now, when he encounters somebody else who has a similarly difficult situation, he tends to feel kind of this calling on his heart and this stirring to share his story, and specifically how it all changed him for the better and how God was inviting him to grow. Sometimes the things that start off as our biggest challenges can be the most beautiful opportunities for sharing life with others. But this requires discernment. Discernment about who to share with, when to share, what situations could benefit from a public witness, what are your motivations in all of it. And that's why this type of unashamed living needs to come third. After being unashamed before God in prayer and after sharing openly and honestly in healthy community. As we embrace our life in all of its uniqueness, we can begin to discern how and where God is calling us to share and to whom He's calling us to give of ourselves. For those of us who experience same-sex desires, unashamed living in the public way is gonna look different, right? So for Shannon and myself, and maybe for you, it means Eden Invitation. For some people, it might mean being more private about sexual orientation, but like in the story I told before, being more open in particular situations. Maybe it means taking a step in boldness and courage to share with your family and see where those conversations lead. Maybe it means vibrant intercessory prayer. A 19th century nun, St. Therese of Lisieux, famously said, "Everything is grace." In other words, God doesn't waste anything. So what you're experiencing right now, what you're going through, God is going to live and move not despite it, but through it. So pray about it. Discern it before God and with people you trust. How might God be calling you to live unashamed in the world?